Hola, minasan! Welcome back for another round of storytelling talk. Or story talk. We could do that story talk. Yeah, story talk. It's all about the storytelling. Today we're talking about One Piece live action. Before I begin to talk about the One Piece live action, I gotta give you all context. See, because I know that many of you are gonna probably comment in below about One Piece and talking about all your favorite scenes and everything about it and whatnot, which by all means, you can share it, but I won't be reading it. Share your favorite scenes of the live action one, that's fine. But the anime one, well, that's not gonna happen because I haven't seen the anime at all. And there's a contextual reason why. So I got this little thing here that I made an order back in the days of yore. It's called Shonen Jump. It's called Shonen Jump. Yeah, check this one out. And here's the other cover. This is volume one of issue number one, volume one. So I ordered this by mail. So what happened is that I got introduced to One Piece for the first time. Let's see if I can find that. Let's see here. Here we are. See, here we go. Yeah, perfect. Here we are with a very young Monkey D. Luffy here. Ta-da! uh, so basically, I was introduced to this, but I never really picked up the complete volumes, the Takoban. What I did was I decided that I wanted to focus on the anime, and for some dumb reason, I decided to check out the 4 Kids one. Uh, that was on Fox Kids. I think it was called 4 Kids at that point. So I was like, why am I doing this? Because the DVD hadn't come out yet, and I'm like, really, what are you doing here? Because they had that stupid opening song, how did it go? What Piece is the king of the pirates? What Piece? Yeah, you know how that went. Just wanted to slap them upside the head for doing that. But I didn't want to collect do the DVDs at that time for One Piece because like the bubble was on the verge of busting because of the methods that they were doing. But I didn't want to give up on the show either. But unfortunately, the furthest I got, and I wasn't gonna pick up the manga either because there was a lot of volumes. And I just wasn't. I didn't know how long I'll be able. I didn't. I wasn't confident that I could keep it up, keep up with it, because it was a lot. There was a lot to this, but the furthest I got was getting this best collection, the best album of One Piece. So listening to all those openings and closings, you know, let's see here, like We Are and Believe, Fish. Oh, oh wow, Fish is from this, huh? Okay, I completely forgot. It's been a long time since I looked at the soundtrack. So yeah, the One Piece live action came out at a time now, at this point now, where there's over 1,075 episodes of One Piece, or have they hit 1,100 yet? So I decided to watch the live action. You know what I mean? First, given my situation, because it was very condensed. The story was condensed. I wanted to see how they do live action because there's been a lot of live action a lot of anime that got adapted to live action, and the only best one, the best two I could say that adapted very well into anime was GTO, Grand Teacher Onizuka, and Gyakuten Saiwan. Well, that's a video game. Phoenix Wright live action was actually based on a video game, but Great Teacher Onizuka was the only one that adapted very well, and well, it wasn't that difficult given that it was set in a school. It was a Japanese school setting. So at the very least, that was the only good adaptation of an anime series. All the other ones, I just didn't even bother because every time I see the previews, It was crazy. One of them I saw was Cutie Honey, live action. I saw that a very very long time ago. I was like, you know what I'm saying? It was a shrug. So yeah, I wanted to see how these guys would do One Piece live action, and yeah, they did pretty good actually. They did pretty good. They did pretty good. They did the live action pretty good. I was very surprised to see that Oda was the executive producer, so he had really good control over his brainchild. So story wise, with the live action, um, I like the world build. It was very very wonderful. They explained how the world map works. The East Sea, the Blue Sea, East Blue, North Blue, West Blue, South Blue, the red line and the green line, and how it looks on a map in the directional compass. It was a little disorienting at first, but I realized that it was making the mark of an X. It made the mark of an X, which was very interesting, like in a treasure map. So knowing that that the location that each section of the world is blocked off by these two lines, and requires master shipping, I guess, seamanship. There we go. Master seamanship to get across to the other side or within. That's going to be very interesting to see. Characters are very, very um, diverse. And I don't mean um, this, the that type of diversity. I'm talking about variety, diversity. Saying from tall to chubby. Yeah, I guess that is diversity. I guess that is diversity. Because what I was thinking of was in terms of style, stylizations. You know, their fighting styles. You have a clown. Saying like you have a clown, you have a fishman, pirate, a clown pirate. That's what was thinking of in terms of diversity. Um, so yeah, in terms of how the characters portrayed, they're very likable, and every one of them has a backstory that's just amazing. Really fleshes them out, three dimensional. I don't want to go too. I don't want to do the spoilers too much, but yeah, I'm not sure how far the live action got ahead of in the anime, so it probably revealed way too much. So I'll be very excited to see the anime and contrast and see what was left out. That's gonna be the fun part. See what was left out and how that story fleshed itself. Um, Ronozoa, because like I said, I had the first 12 volumes of this, so I did meet these initial characters, so or at least most of them. Well, anyway, I knew about these guys, so seeing their backstories officially, because remember I didn't get far, so I didn't see all of their backstories, is wonderful because it's they're like it's like they went through it's like they're on their own journey, and this is actually great character writing because each of these five have their own unique goals. They're not revolving around Luffy or centered on Luffy in that sense. They each have their agency, and that's good character writing. That was something that I picked up when I was writing the Impossible Man, and made sure in the rewrites that every single character had agency, and saying their own dreams, their own wants and wishes, that kind of thing, to set them apart from each other, and ensure that they're likable characters. Motivation, characters with motivation is very very important in writing, and manga and anime tends to thrive at that, especially when it comes to backstories. They tend to not start their stories from point one. Saying like doing sort of like an origin story kind of thing, saying like you actually see the origin story play out before the primary story happens. Mm, so, like for example, Monkey D. Luffy, we don't get to see how he got his scar, what motivated him to be a pirate. We saw that in backstory, because we started seeing him go through his, like he's already attempting to do his adventure. Um, and Roronoa, we get to see his backstory and what motivated him to use three swords, and why he has three swords. And let me tell you something, that was actually pretty cool. Uh, what I'm saying? I'm not gonna even get to Nami. Nami is something you're gonna have to see because that was a very beautiful setup. It had a nice setup with her going after the map and the big payoff at the very end. Sanji and Usopp are very fun. I like that they still kept Sanji's you know hit on women ways. It was done. It was done with. It was done with in good fun and jest. And Usopp is definitely. You would think that he was gonna be the weak link in the whole thing. Saying being the pathological liar, hence his name Usopp, Aesop's fable, the boy who cried wolf, but also the fact that he has very little backstory because his backstory was already, you know, played out to that extent, and and not only that, but he he runs away most of the time and then starts lying about doing things. But it's done, but it's very endearing. It's very fun, you know what I mean. And what helps it make that fun with Usopp is the fact that Luffy supports everybody. Like he really backs them up. What a character this guy is, you know. He supports all of his side characters, his teammates, and that's very very likable. And he looks out for everybody. He's going for a different kind of pirate, even though he says he's a pirate. He's like he's more of a buccaneer. I think that's correct, right? Buccaneer. Yeah, let's pull that up here. Buccaneer. Better not pull up Tampa Bay. Yeah. See. Yeah, it's a kind of pirate. Privateers or free sailors. Yeah, that's basically almost what he is. A ruthless speculator or adventurer, robber upon the sea, a pirate, something like that. Mm, I don't know. He seems more like a buccaneer because, um, what I mean. He's not. I mean, let's see here. Where kind of privateers or free sailors, particular in the Caribbean Sea, during the 17th and 18th century. Um, let's see. Staying from Spanish Bucanero, Bucanero, and derives from the Caribbean Arawak word Bucan, a wooden frame, which Taino and Caribs slowly roasted and slow. Okay, that's the food part. I'm trying to figure out is perhaps what distinguishes buccaneers from early sailors were their use of permanent bases in the West Indies. Uh, the principal station was Tortuga. Mm, let's see. Mm, there's no peace. I guess they were not legal status. Here we go. Sometimes the buccaneers held more or less. I don't know. Not what I thought it was. I knew there were privateers and such, but I knew there were privateers. But I guess Bucky's more like Robin Hood. I guess that's the best way to best comparison. He's Robin Hood. He'll take what is necessary as a pirate, but he won't. But he won't hurt the weak or pillage towns or anything. Saying he'd rather in this, I guess, in a sense, his idea of a pirate is just hunting for treasure, because that's what pirates do. They hunt for treasure. So he sees himself as that, but and he'll bend or break the laws so long as it doesn't hurt people. If it doesn't hurt people, he'll do that. That's the impression that that this story presented, in the live action series. So that's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. As for the anime esque stuff, now like I said, I never saw the anime, so I don't know all the Easter eggs or all the little tidbits or any of that stuff. But what I do know, that is anime, is calling out your attacks, and I really enjoyed seeing that. I can almost see the fun coming out of everybody who calls out their, every single one of them that's calling out their attack. Like you can hear it in their voices that they're enjoying, that they're reenacting anime and doing that. Sanji was the funniest one when he was doing his special attacks, and he was calling out every single one of them. And the screen just kept pausing and pausing and pausing at each strike. I like that the fighting didn't have the shaky cam and jump cutting all over the place and everything. It was very well focused and very well choreographed. And given that this is live action, they had I wasn't expecting everything anime because it is live action. There's just some things that just won't work in live action because physics kind of grapple us all down. Like for let's see, good example. Well, the fight choreography for one thing is a good example, but a good example are the anime iconography, like falling over. So that's actually a perfect example. One of the most common anime tropes is when a character runs to another character and the character's got their arms open waiting to be hugged, and the person just passes right by them and hugs the others. That happens. And normally, when that happens in most anime, the character who didn't get the hug would stumble over or fall to their face as a joke, and that didn't happen on there. Thankfully, that didn't happen. But it was really funny watching him hold, watching him hold his arms out just like that. As that happened. That was a good way. So yeah, like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they're able to fit in the animeisms, the anime iconography, but they had to do what they can in real world logic and made it work for the most part. The villains are really nice for variety of villains, but the Marines are also really good as well because they do have a moral gray ground, and that's really good. You know what I'm saying? You got your good Marines, and then you got your bad Marines, and then you got your gray Marines. You know what I'm saying? Marines who are like really sitting there, and it's like, the world is not how it always makes out to be, and sometimes you gotta make it crack a few eggs to make that omelet. That kind of thing. That's really good. This really gives the story a good flesh. The whole series a nice flesh out. It really fleshes. It gives it a good flesh out. It's not black and white. Everything is just 100% gray, and it's always good. You know what I'm saying? You got your good pirates, you got your bad pirates, you got your good Marines, you got your bad Marines. You got your then of course you got your good. You got your good citizens, and you got your bad citizens. So overall, this was a pretty fun live action. I can't wait to start watching the anime series at episode 1. I'm not lying. I'm starting at episode 1. So I don't know what I want to do. If I want to do more of these, I mean, if you want to see, if you want me to talk more about One Piece, as I go through the anime and just talk about each episode, I'm more than happy to do that. I know it's 1,000 episodes, but I don't know how I'm gonna do that. But we're talking about 1,000 episodes. So yeah, post in the comments below. How you think I can approach that if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on One Piece. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, that's One Piece in a nutshell. That's One Piece live action. So, yeah. That said, thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for joining me. I can't wait for season 2 live action. Can't wait to see the anime. With all that said, I wish you all a good night, buenas noches, and oyasumi nasai.